Hi there. Welcome back to Sending Ravens. How's everybody doing? I got some smudge going, and I've got this beautiful black tourmaline that my friend Allison gifted me. You know, feeling like, we need a lot of protection right now. It's like what's been going on with this silent undercover sort of war, we're going to call it a war, has really heightened, especially this week, it feels like. And it's like the head of the snake is thrashing around the head of the dark cult snake. So even if that sounds crazy, I can just feel that the really deep darkness that's sort of had a hold over our whole world for hundreds of years. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to need to watch Fall of the Cabal. Start there. And or anything Sean Atwood's been talking about, a lot of things concerning. So look up what Sean Atwood's been talking about. There was a wonderful young man, actually, I was listening to being interviewed on Sean Atwood's channel. John Paul Rice. Let me see, did I get that right? Let's see. John Paul Rice. Yeah, I got that right. Whew. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I got his name right. Amazing young man.
In this video, I'm going to create this ebook in just 2 minutes. Direct.
Oops. A little bit of technical problems going on over here. Yeah, John Paul Rice. So young guy, and he's talking about just his experience. And it is absolutely so impressive what this young man says. I couldn't have put it better myself, and I'm not even going to try to say what he was saying, but you have to go watch it. It's a very recent Sean Atwood on the Sean Atwood channel. Just look up his name, John Paul Rice, talking with Sean Atwood and Sandra, I believe, and I forget her last name, but she's on the Sean Atwood show a lot. Amazing woman. Anyway, he's really just talking about hope and how we're all so connected. And he tells this amazing story about the 100th monkey. So I'm going to probably botch this story, but I'll try. Okay. So he says a certain island in the Mediterranean, I believe, was bombed, incredibly. And all that was left was these monkeys, this group of monkeys living on the island. And the people, after they bomb this place, testing out weapons or whatever, they go in to see how the monkeys are doing. And the younger monkeys in the group, when they're being observed, have learned to wash or figured out to wash. So he uses the idea of a coconut. So they're eating coconuts and they learn to wash the coconuts with water so they don't, ingest any more radiation than they need to, I guess. And the older monkeys in the community don't do it at first because, it's hard to teach an old dog or an old monkey new tricks. But by the 100th monkey that figures out that washing this food before they eat it will actually help keep them safe, they all start doing it. By the time the 100th monkey does it. And what this guy was getting at was he was talking about group mind and how positive thinking and feeling loving energy rises the vibration of not just, even if you're doing it alone in a room, the vibration rises. And so if 10 of us, 100 of us, 1,000 of us are all thinking positive, loving, refusing to be held down by the darkness that's going on and has been going on, refusing to be, repressed by that oppressive, dark energy, refusing to be depressed by and oppressed by the darkness that's been really ruling the world for hundreds of years. Again, watch Fall of the Cabal if you don't know what I'm talking about, right? If any one of us just rises our own personal vibration, the vibration of the whole world will rise. It really will. And even if just your life is affected, inevitably it won't just be your life. Everyone around you can feel when your vibration is risen and you refuse to buy into mainstream media. When you're in your heart, you know it's not true. Like, don't just listen to me. Feel in your intuition. Does that feel right? Does that feel true? What does my gut tell me? My whole life, I never actually listened to anybody, and my parents will attest to this. My friends and my parents, okay? And I wasn't even a rebel type. I was actually a pretty fairly easygoing child, especially when I was younger. I was actually I liked to be liked. So I didn't make a big fuss about it. I just never really listened to anything anyone said. I would quietly check back with everything that was told to me by teachers, by religious peoples in religious positions like priests, nuns. I was brought up Catholic. So the schools I went to, elementary and secondary schools, they were all run by, Catholic teachers, at least, if not actually nuns. My early education was by nuns. Some of the nastiest humans, actually, I've ever met in my entire life. So I didn't just listen to what people said about these people. Oh, you have to respect them. You have to be nice to them. I didn't just listen to that. I felt how I felt about them. And my intuition said about 90% of them were creeps, actually, to be honest. And I could feel their lack of humility or not humility, that's the wrong word, because humility, I don't even necessarily appreciate humility. No, their lack of humanity, their lack of sort of connection with others, their lack of, and maybe it was just the nuns in that school, but I've heard stories. But I could tell what kind of people they were, and I listened to my intuition, and it didn't matter that my mom said different. Someone else said different, or it was written in some book. Somebody else decided these are good people because they're nuns or priests or whatever they are. All of those titles are just titles somebody else gave them or they took on themselves. None of that means anything to me. I just feel how I feel about them. I watch how they treat others. I watch how they treat me, and I judge from there. And, that's really worked for me. I got to tell you, that's really worked for me. Nobody is above you or below you. Treat everybody kindly at first. And if they prove to not deserve that or not be deserving, cut them off energetically. Step back. Don't give them your energy. And don't take it personally. It's okay. They're not open to your beauty. It's okay. It's not about you. Right? Learn to love and trust yourself again, because it's going to be necessary going forward. The way the world is changing, the way things are going, we're going to need you to be self-reliant, self-loving. It doesn't matter. Friends are going to drop away until the truth becomes so blaringly obvious to everybody. Okay, that you might even get to be in the position to say, I told you so, but maybe refrain from doing that, right? Let people learn in their own way, right? But continue to know what you know in your heart, and don't be fearful. Okay, rise your vibration with love and energy. Do you know what'll dissipate the big scary monsters out there? And partly why I'm really not afraid, even of people like I was talking about Somerset Belanoff, and she was born May 1st, the same as I. Look her up, and even Putin said the things he's most afraid of in the whole world, he listed her as one of them. Okay, so those kind of people are not scary to me, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm just going to open my heart and just be myself and be loving. And that's all I got. Like, what else do I have? I will shine my light right on Somerset Belanoff if she comes my way, her energy. Okay, because the only thing that's going to dissipate darkness like that is love, light. That's all you got. You got no other recourse but to use your beautiful love light. And the thing that this dark cult, these Luciferians and these deeply disturbed subhumans don't want you to know is that they feed off your fear and negativity, okay? And if your energy has risen and is loving and isn't afraid, they can't feed off you. And that's your only hope, and humanity's hope, is that we rise up our vibration, feel joy, look at nature, don't let the dark cult and darkness of these people and the evil deeds of them pull you down into depression, because they feed off of that. They feed off your fear and depression. Just like the movie, what was it called? It was a Disney movie. Oh, I can't remember now. About the monsters that feed off the fears of children. You guys know, you write it in the comments. It was a cartoon, and it was exactly what adrenochrome is all about. It was exactly all about that. It was like they were scaring children to feed off their energy, these monsters. And when their energy got low, they needed to find a child and scare the child. Okay, so it was a soft way of talking about adrenochrome. It was a signal, and it told a truth about something that's been manufactured on the earth plane with our very own children, all of the stolen and lost children. And they're being kept in dark, scary places and tortured and maimed and horrendous abuses to make a substance that a lot of people in Hollywood and a lot of people in, all kinds of different all over the world, royal families are involved in using it, elites all over the world, not just elite people, right? People that can afford to or know how to get their hands on it and are into this worship of evil and darkness. It's like they're trying to bring down the whole vibration of the world because their vibration is low, and that's the only way they can survive. So some of them are literally even what I call subhumans. And some people believe they're literally a whole group of people from another race, even, like that's not a human race. It's like a lizard race. Okay, so that's where those stories come from. And a lot of what David Icke's been saying for years, and everybody's been laughing at him, is basically coming true and becoming to be known as a truth. David Icke is going to be a literal hero in the next year and a half, because literally everything he's been saying for years is as good as coming true. Now, when I listen to him, he really goes, he kind of doesn't give the hopeful voice, and I really appreciate what he says, but he gives the darkest, dreariest, and it could literally go that way. But my hope and trust in humanity is that we will turn around, we will rise our vibration, and we will turn this darkness around. So that's where him and I part ways. When you listen to David Icke, it sounds very, very like it's never going to get turned around, or it's gone too far, or we've given away our power. And I'm not sure he means to come across like that. And I'm not denying that what he's saying could possibly be the way it goes. But my trust in humanity and goodness is so possibly naive, right? I just know that humans are much wiser. We're like gods and goddesses. And if we only knew how powerful and light we were, we could shine so much light on all that darkness that's been sort of feeding off our fears for hundreds of years, they wouldn't be able to survive us. And that's why they don't want you to know about your light. Your light is the beauty in your soul, your creativity and your light. And that's why they want to snuff it out by their practices that snuff out humans, children in particular. Like, what's the most beautiful creation that we can do here on the earth plane? Create beautiful new humans known as children. What's the most innocent thing? So that's who they choose to pick the most on, okay, and do the most heinous things to, okay, this group of horrendous people that literally are ruling the world. And they're being challenged, and there is a war going on, a silent war against these dark forces, and we all need to wake up. We don't really have time to dilly-dally. We don't have time to think like poo-poo everything. And if it feels right or rings true to you, start waking up and talking about it, okay? And even if you just shine your own personal light. And I know that sounds like a big old lecture, and I'm really not trying to, but I was just so inspired by this young fellow that was on the Sean Atwood channel, John Paul Rice. I was just so inspired by what he said. I just needed to say my own version of, we did it way better. So go watch that for sure. And I'm going to just end this video with a little quick look at what the universe wants to say for us going forward. What kind of energy can I leave you with? Yeah, let's see what we got here. Let's see what the universe says. Wow, it's kind of interesting. In the past, I think the very worst of what's been happening for humanity, it's already gone to as much as the worst it could be. I really feel like right under our noses, without us even realizing, some of the darkest evil deeds have been going on. So in the past, and it took that amount of evil darkness, and it's almost like the dark force pushed it too far by planting this plandemic. Okay, and I believe it's been planted in little pockets. My belief is it doesn't spread anything like a virus. My belief is it's just from all the readings I've done on it, looks like it's a mutilated, it started out as a natural virus. They took it, mutilated it, and they were going to use it to weaponize. It got out before the plan could be finalized, or the weapon could be made as powerful as it otherwise would be. And so they had to run with it, creating what we now know as the lockdown. And it wasn't as powerful and didn't harm as many people and let them off the earth plane as they were hoping it would. It didn't create the pandemic they were hoping for, they being, the likes of big pharma connected and Soros connections, and a very small group of very elite bazillionaires, okay, and you probably know who I'm talking about, so I'm not going to name names right now, but fill in the blanks on those names with a few groups of people that are like the heads of this really small group, really, of people, but they've got their minions everywhere, addicted to adrenochrome, and that's how they keep them minions. Okay, all the fools in Hollywood that got themselves into those parties and those situations where they got roped into and manipulated into doing things probably against their initial, humanity, Okay, some of the disgusting things, and then maybe they got addicted to it so badly, it seems that they would do anything for it, even the most heinous things that are coming out that are done in the name of Satanist groups and Luciferian practices. Okay, yeah. So there's all these levels of the darkness. Going back to this group of families, that could be called the original group of 14 families, the bloodlines. But you're going to have to watch Fall of the Cabal to really know what I'm talking about if you don't, okay? Yeah, so anyway, it looks like that got so bad, like a crescendo, and it's like they pushed it too far. So the attempted pandemic, I don't think turned out the way they wanted it to, and it was released sooner than they wanted, so things went haywire. I feel like that didn't work out. They're even disappointed in it. Didn't create the kind of fear. In fact, it gave a lot of people time while they were locked down all over the world. It gave a lot of people time to investigate, talk about, and understand what's been going on. So it actually backfired here. It backfired on them. So their little plan backfired. And people are waking up from the fear. We've got these pages below, just the very beginning of it's like we're infants again, just discovering how the world really works. We've had a glimpse of, oh my goodness, the world isn't what we thought it was. We got ourselves backed right into a corner just by complacency and not paying attention, and allowing our rights to get taken away, allowing all our freedoms to get taken away, allowing all our phones and gadgets to know more and more about us. It's like they're trying to replace us. Pretty soon we're just going to be a dock for information. And this is what, instead of it making us superhumans, it's going to make us subhumans. And that's what has been said by David Icke. That's a quote from David Icke, and that's his dark version. And the darkest version of the thing is we're headed down a path where our humanity gets taken away and we get basically replaced. It's like, and we've even seen people like this already. Look at the Clintons, look at the Oprah, it's like they're not there anymore, and they haven't been. Obama, I remember he used to look like a human being with integrity, and very soon after he was elected, and clearly now we know he was placed where he was placed, and it was all a charade and all a lie, right? It's very painful to admit, but it's true. I loved the idea of Obama, and it turns out he's a plant. And it's coming out. It's been coming. A lot of people already know. Nothing about his life is real. It's fake. His wife's fake. She's not even a female, apparently. Now, go check out my Deep Dive Fridays, because that video on Tarot by Janine will be talking about, transgender, taking genders and swapping them, right? And I'm not talking about naturally when somebody feels the need to behave in the world a different gender than they were born. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something far more spooky and scary, and even sort of horrendous. So go check it out. Inversion of genders from a young age. Anyway, watch the other channel for that one. That's my Deep Dives Friday. But it looks like in this card reading that we're just at the beginning of, with 2 pages, it does give me hope. So unlike David Icke, his dark version, although, he's pretty much right on the mark, except maybe his faith in humanity is a little low, which totally understandable. The way he's been literally ridiculed his whole life for really telling us what's been going on. The guy's a genius, frankly. Okay, so here we've got the 4 and the strength. I think just in the nick of time, we are going to find our voice and our strength again. This could take time. I feel like we still got another year of going through this, and the growing pains of people waking up when things become more and more obvious. Even in the next 4 months, there's going to be a big surge of information, it looks like. That sounds like it's around the time the elections are going on in the United States, which kind of makes sense. I feel like a lot of truths will come out, and it's going to wake a lot more people up, even though there's so many already waking up. And they're going to need support. They're going to need patience. They're going to need the ones that have already awoken to just take them through and down, the proper, the most sort of valid rabbit holes, because there's so many scary ones that, and some of them lead to nowhere, but help them find their way if they're reaching out, and try to have patience, because those people are going to need our patience. And there's going to be a lot of angry people. They say there's going to be a lot of anguish, with sleeping people waking up and realizing it's like their world will crumble. Hollywood's already completely, diminishing itself. It's imploding. So instead of thinking about it like, we need to fight this. This is what this young man said on the Sean Atwood channel. No, we need to actually use our brilliant light and creativity to create another way to be, and step away from things like Hollywood that's literally imploding on itself, and create our own version of films that are valid. Give our energy to films that are uplifting and telling us truths that we can relate to, and not sort of just signaling and the kind of shallowness that's been going on in Hollywood for, a long time, and the kind of horrendous things that have been going on with Disney. Look into Disney. If that place doesn't implode in the next year, I'll be very surprised. All the toys that from the Frozen movie that are clearly grooming our children sexually, like grooming them way before they're ready to be dealing with sexual energies and things. It's horrendous, as if that's okay somehow. It's not okay. None of that's okay. It looks like we are going to wake up, but there's going to be growing pains. We're going to be like brand new again, but we have a chance with Pages. You have a chance, and also with the Magician, to recreate with our creativity something totally different. Moving over and alongside the dark energies. Just don't give them your energy. Don't give them your fear, and don't give them your energy. They will die without with yourself becoming awoken and beautiful, because you already are, by the way, and remembering that you're made in the image of the gods, God, whatever you want to call it, universe, goddess. I don't care what you call it. Universal life force energy is what I call it. You're made in that image. So that this darkness can't hold a light, any kind of light to you. Your light will diminish their energy. And that's why they don't want you to know how powerful and beautiful you are. And that's why they've been telling us and showing us and creating this ugly, ugly world, and feeding us through mainstream media, because they've literally owned the mainstream media. Just lies after lies, and diminishing our humanity. But they're not going to be able to do it. And like I said, that the head of the snake is thrashing, and it's about to go down. But we're going to have to rebuild and build in our own direction. And even if we're alongside that darkness for a while, right? Don't be fearful, because it's no match for your beauty and light and love. And that's what I wanted to say. Thank you so much. I just had to come on and say that. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already.